Hey Byron, we saw John Brown added to the practice squad. Obviously, a guy that you guys know well from Arizona, knows Kevin, knows Bruce, knows you. I imagine that's kind of an emergency if Grayson and Perriman and Watson are all injured. But just want to ask you how quickly he can pick things up and what you guys might look for from him.
I don't know. We just got here late last night. He just got here late last night. Obviously, meet with him throughout the week, see how much he retained. It's differences. Obviously, it's some differences from the last time he heard it, but he's a smart player, always been a smart player. So we'll see. Don't never want to put limitations on no one. So we'll see.
Thanks, Bert.
Mhm.
We'll go to Rick Stroud.
Hey, Byron. Look, who knows how long Tom Brady's going to play, right? You'd be a poor man trying to bet on that. But if you just look at his season, the 5,300 plus yards, all the touchdowns, and it's a team game, right? But could you argue that, this is maybe the best he's played, or at least if he goes out, he's on top of his craft right now in the league as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think he's playing at a high level, at a high level. I mean, what more to say? You just said it, right? You just said it all. I mean, to have that type of year, to have that type of season, regardless of your age, if you're 25, right, if you're 26, right, everyone's begging and hoping that they can have that type of year. So, I mean, obviously, you guys know what I think of Thomas. Thomas is as good as they come. I mean, it's great to be a part of it, to be a part of the coaching him and watching him go play the way that he played week in and week out. It's special to be a part of. But, I mean, what more needs to be said with everything that you just said? You just said it all. Those are the facts of what he's done, and it's as special as it comes. I don't know how you do better.
Right. Thanks.
We'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Byron. Leonard Fournette was a guy that led the entire postseason last year in scrimmage yards. I know there's a real possibility the Bucs can get him back this week. Just can you speak to the juice that he was able to give you guys last year in your postseason run, and then what he brings to you guys now?
Yeah, he brings the same stuff that he brought to us last year. Obviously, we don't look to last year to see what's going to happen this year, but obviously just continue to put him in position to make the plays that he's made all year. I think he's had a hell of a year. Unfortunately for him, he got hurt, because I would love to see where he would have been at this point if he not got hurt. I think, like I told you, I think he's grown into a pro. I think you're seeing the best of Lenny this year, what he can do, what he can bring to a team. So I'm going to just try to put him in position to try to help us win this football game.
And I know you're a tireless worker and you put a lot into this. And I'm just curious what it's like from your vantage point, standing in the foxhole with somebody that's kind of your equal in that department, and Tom Brady. We know how just maniacally obsessed he is and his game preparations and stuff, and just what it's like for you game planning, being able to bounce ideas off of each other like that.
It's a beautiful thing. Like I said, we're close in age. So we talk, all me and him do is talk football. We're talking football every second we see each other, and we both love it in that way. So obviously it's a blessing to have someone to love the game the way that he loved it, approach the game the way that he approached it. As a coach, I mean, it's ball all the time. So that's a special thing, and you just love being involved with that, love going to work with him every week.
We'll go to Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Byron, unfortunately, there's a chance of rain and heavy winds on Sunday. You guys have just had one rain game this year, and that was New England, where Tom threw his lowest completion percentage this year. From a quarterback's perspective, is there any way to prepare for a rainy day come game day?
Yeah, we've done it before. We do wet ball drills. We're down here in Florida, too, so we practice in it some. So we get it. He's played in the rain a lot. Obviously, we see what the weather report says, but anytime you're down here, right, you kind of just wait the Friday or Saturday to make sure it's accurate. I saw that about 2 days ago, and I just turned it because there's no need to even look at the weather down here until you at least get to Friday, right? Friday, we'll really start paying attention for it, but we are preparing for what may come our way as far as weather.
and preparing for a team that you've already seen during the regular season. Do you prefer that, or would you rather face someone who you haven't seen? Do you find yourself second guessing when you face opponents the second time? You know, both sides.
No, you just want to be playing in these games. You don't care who it's really against. You want to have the opportunity to compete in the tournament. We have that opportunity, so we're going to try to take advantage of that opportunity Sunday. Play our best football.
We'll go to Safid Dean.
Hey, Byron, I know it's been a couple weeks since you guys played without Chris Godwin and a couple weeks since without Antonio Brown. You know, how do you think the Tom and the offense will respond without those guys in the playoffs where, you know, the possessions are a little bit more limited and, you know, those guys are a real good crutch for Tom, you know, when you need a good big play?
I mean, I think they'll respond like they've been responding. We've been missing guys all year. We've been still able to do what we need to do to help this football team win from an offensive standpoint. Score points, convert situational football. That hasn't dropped. Even though we lost some great guys, we lost some special, unique guys, the production from the group haven't really, you know, stopped. So it's just a testament to those guys' hard work, what they do every day, the work that they put in, the focus that they have, understanding the time of year it is, understanding what they got to do, play in, play out for us to play our best football. So obviously you'd like to have all those guys back, but it is what it is. It's the game of football. The guys that are here are working their tail off to try to play their best football.
We'll go to Sarah Walsh.
Hi, Byron. I know a couple of guys and Bruce had talked about wanting a faster start, especially after last week. Is there anything you do like practice-wise, whether that's looking over the plays that you might call to simulate that or get that going, since that's a category that everyone kind of looked at and said, yeah, that's an area we could do better?
Yeah, I don't know if you take 1 week and that if we don't score on our first drive, it always tend that we're struggling early. It's just been 1 week. I think the week before and the week before that, we did pretty good. Obviously, the game of football is right. Sometimes it don't go your way. It didn't go our way early, but we understand that we're going to have 8, 9, 10 possessions in the game. Obviously, we try to score every time we get it. Sometimes you don't, but it's a 4-quarter game. We're preaching to these guys, it's a 4-quarter game. You want to play your best football for 4 quarters, but obviously we want to get off to as good a start we can possibly get off in.
We'll go to John Romano.
Hey, Byron, going back to the idea of Godwin and Brown not being in the lineup, when you put in replacements, are they expected to just fulfill the role of the guy that they're replacement, or do you have to tweak the game plan somewhat, realizing that they may have a different skill set than the guy they're replacing?
You think there's a lot of Chris and ABs out there? There's not a lot of them out there, right, on the planet. So you don't ask them to be them, right? You ask them to be themselves and be the best version of themselves. Then it's my job to know what they can do well and put them in position to have success. So I'm asking guys to just be who they are. Just be who you are. I think we got a good understanding of what they are from a skill set, what they can do to help us, and just try to put them in position to have success.
With that in mind, how different is this offense than it was the offense that showed up against Dallas in the season opener?
Well, obviously, when you're missing, you know, the guys that we're missing, it's different, right? But at the same time, like I said earlier, the production hasn't slipped. Still got the same production, just with different numbers and different names on the back of the jersey. So, and that all comes from the players putting the work in, being able to understand what we're trying to do, get in position to make the play. So, like I said, it's a testament to our players of how hard they work, how alert and focused they are in meetings to have the ability to do what they've been doing when guys been out.
JC Allen.
Hey, Byron, just wondering, you know, looking at the tape of the Eagles, what biggest differences you've noticed since playing them in week 6?
They're playing good football. Their D-line is attacking the quarterback. They were a good football team when we played them, always had good players, got a difficult scheme to go up against. veteran guys in the secondary who've been around a lot of good football. Really got veteran guys on all three levels when you look at them. Veteran guys who's been in a lot of situations, really. And we know we're facing a veteran ball club that's a playoff team. Obviously, what happened early in the year means nothing. Going out here Sunday, trying to play our best football, preparing ourselves for a really good football team.
We have time for a few more. We'll go to Greg Allman.
Hey, Byron, I know the offensive line is just starting to get its due in terms of three guys making the Pro Bowl. I want to ask you about Wirfs in particular, and just how much you've come to be able to depend on him and count on him as such a reliable player in just his second year.
Well, just going through training camp last year and putting them in certain situations, I was able to trust them by week 3 of last year, week 2 or 3 of last year, just because of who he is as a player, the way he approached it. Really good football player, man, as good as they come, really. And I'm just happy we have him on our side. It's great to see him go out there week in and week out and compete the way that he competes, especially with the guys he's up against every week. Just got the ultimate trust in Tristan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last two will come from Rick Stroud and Sarah Walsh.
Byron, it's a team game, right? How aware are you of like the other team you're playing on offense? Like, okay, they like to run the ball, they're gonna control the ball. I think last Sunday you had 3 scored 41 points. You had 3 plays in the first quarter. Week before that, 1 possession. So do you have to account for the fact that if you give the ball back to them, it could be a while before you see it again?
I don't view it that way. You know who you're playing. You try to know the opponent to know what type of game it can possibly be. But at that point, you're just really just trying to do what you can't control when you got the ball. You can control what you do with it when you got it. So I look at last week, if we want more than 3 plays, we should have converted the third down, and we'd have had more than 3 plays. So we just got to do a better job of when we got it, executing, converting third down, scoring points. That's the only way you can view it, really, as an offense. When we are on the grass, let's try to be at our best.
Last one will be from Sarah.
Hey, Byron, I'm just curious from where you are right now in this first round of the postseason to compare to where you were a year ago at this point. How does it feel different, if at all?
Well, it feels different because it's a whole different year, right? And what we was able to accomplish last year. You don't look to that for anything, but you have that experience, right? We as a group have that experience. We've been in tough environments, tough situations, and we found a way to win football games in those situations. It obviously absolutely means nothing this year, brand new year. Every year is different. But to say that it feels different, it just feels like the first week of the playoffs, really, sir. It just feels like it's playoff time. You're one of the few teams that's left in the tournament that have the opportunity to play. Teams would do a lot to have an opportunity to play this weekend. We're fortunate enough to be one of those teams. So we're going to just try to make sure we're playing our best football when we go out there Sunday at 1 o'clock.
All right, that's all we have time for. Appreciate taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you.